So what's the biggest weak spot on your front suspension? Odds are if you have an independent front suspension, it's your CV axles. So how do we deal with that? In my case, my F150, I've gone through a couple of them and I'm kind of getting tired of it. What I've done here is I've gone with TrakMotive. They offer an extended travel CV axle. What you'll find here is in this middle section, it allows for a slip joint, allows it 44 millimeters of extra travel. What that's going to do is extend out when my suspension goes to full droop. I've got a 3-inch BDS lift on my F150. After breaking a couple of sets, I decided to start Google searching and looking for a few other options. In this case, TrakMotive was really the most economical and the best option that I could come up with. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and tear into the front suspension on my F-150 today. I'm not sure if it's just the CV axles. I am definitely hoping that's going to solve the problem. I'm getting a lot of noises popping and clicking up there. We're going to rip into the front suspension here a little bit, see what is damaged. Fingers crossed it's just my CV axles. If that's the case, get them replaced, get it back on trail. All right, so first step, now we got the wheel off, is we're gonna go ahead and get the rotor and the brake caliper off, get back behind those, start getting some of those components, get the front tie rod disconnected, get some of those components out of the way so I can start getting the hub pulled out and get the CV axle pulled out. And we'll go from there. All right, so got the old CV axle tore out. It's not too bad. That one's not doing so great, and that one I can't even move. So obviously it definitely looks like these need to come out and get replaced. I have a feeling the driver's side's probably gonna be even worse. It definitely seems like that's where the noises are coming from. So we're gonna get the new one stuffing in there and see how this goes. Hopefully I'm not having to do this for a little while. Hopefully these TrakMotives will hold up and get a little bit longer life out of them than I do the stock ones, because I'm tired of replacing these every few months. All right, so first of all, it's freaking hot in the shop today. But got the old CV axle torn out, got the new one in. Didn't have too many problems. Didn't see any other damage in there. So far, so good. This is the side I think that was making the noise. It's kind of hard to tell, but I mean, with my driver's window open, this is where the sound seemed like it was coming from, but we never know until we get in there. So I'm gonna get this torn into. I got the wheel off already. I'm gonna go ahead and get the hub broken down. You guys can watch me do that. It'll probably be in time lapse or something like that, because again, this isn't a how-to. I don't know how to do this. I'm figuring out how to do this. So just follow these steps I saw in the YouTube video. Everything went pretty smooth. Got the old one out, popped the new one in, got it all buttoned back together. Did forget the little hubcap that goes on the inside there, so I'm probably gonna have to take my wheel back off again, pop that bad boy in there, and then reseat my wheel. Not a big deal though, just takes a few minutes. Let's get torn into this and see if I broke anything else in there. Sometimes it's awesome when it's easy. So little status update here. Got the new CV axle in. Getting it out was a pain in the ass. Much harder than the other side. I'm not sure. I know there's a clip in there that retains it, and getting past that clip without breaking it was a little bit of a pain in the... But got it out, got the new one in. Ended up having to disconnect my sway bar link just because, a little hard to see in there, but had to disconnect my sway bar link just because the body of or I guess the shaft of the CV here would not fit in between. You can see the top of the sway bar link here. It's a little dark in here, but you can see the top of the sway bar link here and the strut spring. So the gap in between here, because you got to come in at a high angle and then lower it down to get it into the knuckle, it was too narrow right here. So I had to disconnect both of my sway bar links on the driver, and I had to go over on the passenger side and disconnect that side. That allowed me enough play to get in here with a pry bar and pry the sway bar up out of the way to get the CV axle down into the area where it's supposed to sit. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna get a jack stand up underneath, or a floor jack up underneath of the lower control arm here, get that raised up. That'll allow me to connect the top of the knuckle to the ball joint in the upper control arm here. And then once I get that in there, it'll also close this gap and allow me to get a nut on the sway bar and get that connected. So after I do that, button up a couple more things, get the tie rod reconnected, get my brake line and ABS lines back in where they're supposed to be. Other than that, it should be pretty good. Go ahead and button it up and get it ready for a test drive. So I got everything all put back together. Only thing I got to do is throw the wheel back on, get the lug nuts torqued back on once I get it on the ground, take it out for a test drive. But for now, got the CV axles in there. Like I said, haven't tested them yet, so we'll see how this goes. We do have a wheeling trip coming up this weekend. We're going to be wheeling all weekend out in West Virginia. We're scouting some trails out there for an upcoming excursion this fall. So pay attention to Morrison's Outdoor Adventures events calendar. There is going to be a long excursion coming up, and we can't wait to let you guys know what that's all going to be about. So let's get the tire on and go take it for a test drive. All right, well guys, that about sums it up. Went ahead, got the install done. Everything went pretty smooth. No real complaints. I went out and took it for a test drive. Everything sounds good. No noises, groaning, grunts, clicks, cracks, pops, anything weird coming out of the front end of the vehicle, which is actually a marked improvement. It was making a lot of noises before. But got everything installed, got it in there. Fit and fitment seems great. Install went smooth. TrakMotive, it seems like they've got a good product here. I don't have any complaints with it so far. It is going to take a little bit of testing. We're going to be hitting the trails this weekend, so I'll have a little bit of more of a report after this weekend, and we'll see how time goes. I usually get about 3 months out of a set of CVs if I'm lucky. They usually start clicking and popping after the first wheeling trip. I'm a little hard on my front end. I'm a little hard on my vehicles, period. Hopefully these will hold up a little bit longer than the stock ones did, and in theory they should. So we'll see how it goes. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If there's anything for the F-150 or Jeeps that you would like to see, let me know. I know there's not a ton of us F-150 guys out there doing the overland and rock crawling thing. A lot of you guys out west bombing through the desert. Other than that, thanks again, guys. Hit the like and subscribe button. I'm gonna get ready for our trip this weekend, and we'll see you on trail.
I think so.